Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Touch a Truck Road Trip. I'm your host, Jatern Dhaliwal, Chief Engineer here at the Abbotsford Centre. Did you know that today is National Online Learning Day? And today we're going to be hanging out at the Canadian Military Education Centre, where we'll be learning about some military vehicles, including a tank. But before we hit the road, I wanted to remind you that throughout the month of September, the Abbotsford Centre will be collecting donations for Envision Financial's The Full Cupboard, which in turn goes to the Archway Food Bank of Abbotsford. We set a $2,000 goal, and so far we've raised $750. So come on and help donate if you can. Donations can be made in person at the Abbotsford Centre or online at abbotsfordfoodbank.com/donate by writing Touch a Truck and your information in the message center. As a thank you, anyone who donates throughout the month of September will be entered to win one of several prize packs, including the grand prize of a Nintendo Switch Lite and a $50 gift card to the Nintendo store. For more information on prizing and how to donate, visit abbotsfordcentre.ca or click on the link in the description of this video. Now let's go check out some military vehicles, guys. Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm here with Mark Ivins, and right behind us we have a 1986 ILTIS 4x4. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, this is a 1986 Canadian Bombardier ILTIS. It's a quarter-ton utility vehicle. Replaced like the World War II Jeep and the ones that came after it. This one is badged up to the Canadian Military Police, and they use it all through land operations, through Germany, other postings, and Bosnia and other peacekeeping missions. They did use these up into Afghanistan in the early 2000s until they ran into a lot of IEDs, and these things are not in a way bulletproof or bomb-proof or anything like that. So they came in with the G-Wagons. Okay. Later version we could put in the up-armored, more bulletproof.
Cool. So this was actually made in Canada by Bombardier.
Yeah, in Quebec, that's right.
But the original ILTIS was a Volkswagen company.
It was a kind of a combination of Volkswagen and Audi in the mid-70s for the West German Army, Bundeswehr. And Canada bought the rights in the early 80s and started making these from about 1983 to about 1988. Canada bought 2,500 of them. They're used multi-roles. You see the military police, ambulances, signals. They'd have more antennas on them that for more signals.
And this one specifically has a tailgate, which is a model that wasn't that often produced.
That's right. There was only 292 produced for the Canadian Army with a tailgate. They were used more as ambulances. I believe the MPs liked them. It's a little more versatile. So that's where you can see the spare tires mounted on the side, and on the other ones here, the spare tires mounted on the rear. Minor differences.
So this was the deluxe version, guys.
That's right. And you can see when you take the doors off, you got lots of air conditioning.
Great, great. Well, thank you very much, Mark, again with the Canadian Military Education Centre. Really appreciate your time, and it's quite neat to come out and check out some military vehicle that were actually used. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Okay guys, so we're here at the Trade X today with Dean Fraser from the Canadian Military Education Centre, and right behind us we have a real tank. Dean, can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yes, well, behind us right now, sitting on the tractor trailer, which is 90 feet long, we have a 1952 Australian Centurion tank, a main battle tank. It has a crew of 5, a driver, a gunner, a crew commander, and a loader, and it's armed with a 105mm rifled cannon. Battle range is 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer, and it can take out targets up to about 4.5 kilometers, no problem.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's the main turret right there?
That is the main turret, and if you look down the center of the 105, you'll see there's a round cylinder in the middle. That is called a fume extractor. When the main gun fires, the round goes through the barrel, all the smoke follows it and collects in that fume extractor, and when the round leaves, then all the smoke comes out the end.
And what's that hatch on the side there, Dean?
That hatch on the side, that round one, on the left side of where the loader is, that is called a pistol port. So when that's opened, when the gun basket is full of 105 casings, the loader can actually take them out of the tank and throw them onto the ground. It's just basically to make more room.
That's amazing. So how fast can this thing go?
This one here, it'll easily go about 50, 55 kilometers an hour.
And can it crush a car?
Yes, 2 weeks ago at the Agri Fair, we had it on display. We actually had a van donated, and we almost cut it in half for the whole weekend display. It was epic.
Hey guys, so Dean was kind enough to let us crawl all over his tank. Could you show us where this battle damage was?
Okay, if you look over here, right in between the loader's hatch and the crew commander's hatch, you're going to see there's a bunch of shrapnel. Well, it was on a live fire exercise in, I think, the late 60s, and it got hit by one of its own tanks. And being in a 105 millimeter round, it actually separated the top of the turret from the crew commander's hatch. And you can see where the shrapnel damage was. And this right here is an aftermarket, just a steel plate. It actually blew the whole loader's hatch right off.
Wow, that's amazing. There's definitely a lot of firepower in these rounds.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Dean. We really appreciate your time, and that is one big tank. Hey guys, so Dean was kind enough to show us his 1940 BMW R71 World War II era replica motorcycle. Can you tell us more about it?
Here, what we have in front of you here is a BMW replica R71. It has a crew of 3, the driver, the gunner, and a soldier on the back. And during the Blitzkrieg in World War II, 1939, they would have, let's say, 50 motorcycles rolling into a town. The 50 soldiers in the back would jump off and start doing house clearing. And then the 50 motorcycles would station themselves all the way around the town for covering fire and to keep people from escaping. And then that's the part of the Blitzkrieg, and they would take the town out in a matter of hours. And then they would carry on to the next town at roughly a speed of between 50 and 75 kilometers an hour. This one here is it's a 22 horsepower. It's a 750. It has a horizontal twin engine. It's 850 pounds. It's great in the snow.
That's amazing. So this is what the German army used, an exact replica. And looks like you have a real machine gun there.
Yes, this is dated 1943. It's the real deal. It's an MG-34 light machine gun that can fire 800 to 900 rounds per minute. During the war, so many of these motorcycles were being shot up that they took the machine gun off, and they were using it as a dispatch rider bike or driving officers and doctors to various units. And just to add, the MG-34 can be fired on the motorcycle, or it can be dismantled by one of the soldiers in the back, and it can be fired by the ground mount, so he can lay down in the grass and fire. Or we have right here in the middle, there's an anti-aircraft mount. They can hide the motorcycle and set up the anti-aircraft mount with the machine gun on it for obvious anti-aircraft purposes.
Okay, I have one last question, Dean. Can I go for a ride?
Sure.
Let's go for a ride.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Touch Truck Road Trip. Please join me in thanking Mark and Dean of the Canadian Military Education Centre. Don't forget to tune in next week, where we'll be learning all about big rigs and the transportation industry. We'll be stopping by Valley Driving School to check out a semi-truck, a Super Bee, and a school bus. Following that, we're going to stop off at Spady Transport to see how they transport goods. Okay, guys, thanks again, and see you next week on Touch a Truck Tuesday.